Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a mini haul / review on Morphe brushes, and I have a few Morphe brushes, but I haven't really gotten into using them for everything. Like a lot of people, that's all they use is Morphe brushes, and I never really got into it, but I recently, last week, just went and purchased a few to try them out and see what I think that they're all about. So I got, basically, I only bought a few because I wanted to see how they worked, and I just bought enough to do my face and then an eye look for you guys. And I'm going to be doing kind of a review. I thought it would be cool to put them on while I do the review instead of just doing my makeup with them and then just or just doing a separate review. But I'm going to review them while I use them and tell you what I think while I'm using them. And so first, I'm going to start off by telling you what each one is. And the first brush I have today is, this is the Morphe G36. And this is, I have the paper right here, a round powder brush. And so obviously I got this one for my face powder. And then I got the M177, and this is the powder bronzer brush, and I got a brush for that. I basically got a brush for everything that I'm going to do on my face. And then next I have the M427, and this is a tapered duo blush. And for my blush, I like to use duo fiber brushes because I feel like they don't really pack on makeup as much. They do them kind of lighter and not as I don't know what you would say. They don't just put all the color on. These tend to apply color a lot more subtly, and you have to build it up more with this kind of brush. So I like to use that for blush because you don't want your blush to just go on super bright, because then you can't really do anything about it. And then I have the M500, and this is a deluxe pointed blender brush, and I got this one for my highlighter because I like tapered brushes, and I'm not I kind of like fan brushes, but I prefer the tapered brushes to do your highlight. And then I got 4 eye brushes to try these ones out and do them for an eye look. So I haven't even used these yet, they're still in the packaging. I wanted to use them for a first impression also. So review, first impressions, face of makeup, everything all in one video. And this is the Morphe M212. It's really small, it's really tiny. I got it for your waterline to smudge out color, and this is actually called the Detail Mini Smudger. Next I have the Morphe G24, and this one is a blending fluff, so I just wanted a fluffy crease brush to just spread color all over. Then the Morphe G15. This one is a small oval shadow brush. This is just a flat packing brush, just to pack on colors to the lid is what I got that one for. And last but not least, I got the M139, and this one is called the Tapered Crease Blender, and I wanted a little bit smaller crease brush than this one so that you can do a little bit more precise blending in the crease. And I'm pretty sure that these 3 that were the G in front of the number are from the Gunmetal collection, so they're all gunmetal. And these ones are really pretty. I kind of thought about getting the whole collection, but I wanted to wait to see if I liked the brushes and how they felt first. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so I already did my foundation and my concealer because I don't really want to do that on here because I want to focus on the brushes, and I don't use brushes for my foundation and my concealer. I always use a beauty blender just because brushes tend to make it look streaky for me and they don't make it as full coverage. So I just use the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Foundation, and the Tarte Shape Tape and for my concealer. So first I'm going to take the G36, the brush that I bought for powder, and I'm just going to take some MAC Studio Fix powder and just dab this in there. And let's see how it applies. It's a pretty dense brush, so I find that always good for powder because then I know that it's like picking it up and not just like dusting a little bit. Like it's dense, it's kind of packing the powder on there, because I don't always wear like a liquid foundation. I usually just wear the powder foundation. So I think that applied my powder pretty well. It's definitely going to give you more like full coverage of your powder because of how dense it is. So that I'm wearing foundation underneath, it's kind of looking a little bit cakey with the powder on it just because it kind of put a lot on. I think if you don't wear foundation that this would work really good. And it did work really well even with foundation. I just think with the foundation I used being so full coverage and also a full coverage powder foundation, it kind of put a lot on. But let's go and do the bronzer next. So I'm just using Too Faced Chocolate Soleil and the Morphe M177, the one I got for bronzing, and that's actually what they make it for too. It's kind of big to contour with, but if you just want to bronze up, which is what I'm going to do, I think it'll work pretty good. And if you're going to apply a dark bronzer like this, if it's winter time and you get pretty pale like I do, make sure you bring it down your neck. Otherwise, you're just going to look really muddy and you're going to look like really odd because your face is going to be super tan and your body's going to be like white. So I think that applied my bronzer pretty nicely. It looks pretty good, like in the cheekbones it gets darker and it was really easy to blend with. And so I think it actually contoured pretty well. It's a little bit dark, but that's my fault completely because I'm wearing really dark bronzer right now. But yeah, I think that did good. Okay, now we're going to do blush with the M427. I'm going to take a product that I know that I really like. That's what I'm actually doing with everything because I want to really see how the brushes are working, not just like the products, because I want to do products that I already know that I love. And so I can actually get the full extent of how good the brushes are working or how good they're not working and see how they're actually going to apply the makeup that I already know I love. And this is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Blush in Apricot in the middle. This shade is so pretty, and for being like $4, it's one of my favorite blushes actually, even over all like the higher end brands that I have. I love this one. It's really peachy and it has a little bit of shimmer to it. Let's just apply this. So I'm going to go a little bit light at first just to make sure. It seems like it's making my blush really powdery. My blush is not usually like that powdery. I don't know if you can see that, but it's getting like super powdery. And just apply it how I normally do. Okay, so that went on. Always dropping stuff. Yeah, but it went on pretty nice, but it really made my blush, like when I put the brush into it, it made it really powdery, and that blush usually isn't with any other brush that I use. And I feel like it didn't really do much. I know that's what like duo fiber brushes do, but it doesn't look very as pigmented as it usually does when I use other brushes. So I don't know if that's the brush or I don't know. But now I'm going to do the highlight with the M500, this tapered one, and I love brushes like this. I know I already said that, but I really, really love brushes like this. This one's pretty big actually. I feel like this might even be good for blush or like probably setting your under eyes with like a translucent powder, but I use Beauty Blender for that. And I'm going to take this Pure Elevation highlighting palette. It looks like this. It has 3 shades like this more of just a normal gold highlight shade. And this middle one, it's like all these weird colors mixed together, but it turns out to be like a pearlized finish. I'll show you. It looks really white on my hand right now, but it turns out to be really pearlized. And then the last one is more of like a salmon pink highlight, and this would be really good for when you're tan and summer. It would give you like the perfect kind of glow. So I'm just going to use the normal gold one, and this one is called Boost. And just pop this on my cheekbones. And of course I'm going to do some on the tip of my nose and the bridge and the Cupid's bow. So that applied the highlight really, really good. Like, it's intense. It got a lot of product on the brush when I used it, and it's pretty intense highlight. I don't know if the lights are going to let you see it, but it's intense. Now I'm going to go for the eye part of this little review, and I'm going to use this Ofra Professional palette. This is, I think like with Ipsy, they did like a thing where only Ipsy subscribers could buy this like limited edition palette from Ofra off the Ipsy website. And I done that like probably a year ago, and the colors in this are really pretty. They're really neutral, and so I'm not sure how many people could get this, but I think it's really pretty. And there's a lot of shadows. Probably the ones that I'm going to use are ones that you could find anywhere. First, I know this is like a crease brush, but I didn't get a brush to like set my lids with a like base color, so I'm going to use that G24 brush, and I'm going to take this light bone color. I'll show you guys. First I'm going to take this light bone color right here, and I'm just going to take the brush and I'm going to just kind of slap it all over my lid, because I just like to always start off with a base color that's kind of just like a little bit lighter than my skin color, because I don't really use eyeshadow primer that often. Usually I will use like concealer, and I'll just bring it up onto my eyelids too, but not right now because I have eyelash extensions. Okay, so I zoomed you guys in a little bit so you could see better. I am going to now take that fluffy crease brush again, the G24, and I'm going to take this light brown shade right here. It's kind of like a sand color, and pop that into my crease. It's really light. It's a good transition shade. I'm going to take the more precise blending brush, and this one's the M139, and I'm going to take this darker brown shade right here. It's more of like a medium brown, and I'm going to do that a little bit lower in the crease below the first shade that we just did. And with that same brush, I'm going to take the darkest, like chocolate brown shade in this palette right here, and put that in the outer corner of my crease. And I'm just going to bring it in like the slightest bit, like halfway through the crease. And going back with the first fluffy crease brush, I'm going to just take that medium brown shade we used earlier and just blend out any harsh lines. And I'm going to take that bone color we used on the flat shadow brush, the G15, and I'm going to highlight my brow bone area with that. So after that, with that same flat shader brush, I want to take a shade onto my lid. I'm trying to figure out what shade I want. let's just go with this regular gold shade right here. It's just a normal true gold. You can see that. And I'm just gonna pack it right onto my lid. These brushes like pick up a lot of product. I mean, that's not a bad thing, but they just pick up a lot of product, so I'd make sure you tap them off first. This brush packs on product really good. Like, it's just packing on this shadow and making it. And I'm just going to blend out the edges with that fluffy crease brush. Blend everything together. I'm going to take this little tiny M212 brush and take the medium brown shade that we used in our crease the first time, and I'm just going to, or I should say the second time, I'm just going to run it along the bottom of my lash line. And also I'm going to take the dark brown shade that we put in the outer corners of our crease and run it closer to my waterline. And I'm not going to go all the way across the bottom lash line. Just on the outer half and connecting it to the one up top. And also with this little smudger brush, I'm going to highlight my inner corners. And I'm going to take this white shade right here. You can't really tell, but it is really shimmery. It is not a matte shade, so I'm going to highlight with that. It's really, really light. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to go back into the highlighting palette I used, and I'm going to use that to highlight my inner corners because that one wasn't working for me. I'm just going to fill my brows really quick off camera, but I'm going to be using the ABH Brow Definer as usual. And now I'm going to pop some mascara onto my lower lashes. Lately I've been loving this Colossal Big Shot from Maybelline. This is their newest mascara, and it works really good on lower lashes. So I'm just going to pop that on real quick. And lastly, I decided to put on some lip gloss off camera. I used the Kylie Literally gloss. This is the final look, you guys, and these brushes, I think they worked out really well for me. The face brushes, well, the powder brush, I liked. My overall final review, this is going to be my official final review. The powder brush I liked, but I don't recommend using it if you're going to wear liquid foundation underneath like the powder that you're going to put on with this, unless you're using like a translucent powder. But if you're going to use a full coverage powder, I'd recommend not wearing liquid foundation under this, just because it can tend to look cakey because you'll put on a lot of powder with this brush. But I usually don't wear liquid foundation anyways, so I feel like I'm going to love this brush. And then the blush brush, it doesn't really, it picks up like a lot of product, but it doesn't put it on your face. I don't really know where it went to, but I'd say I have brushes that are better than this blush brush, and these are just my honest reviews. I'm not going to lie about anything. This is just how it is. I have other brushes that I like better than this particular blush brush. Then the bronzer brush, I think it worked fine. I had no problems with it. It just depends on if you're trying to contour or bronze up the skin. I'd recommend getting, they have a brush that's exactly like this, but it's like smaller, and I recommend using that one for contouring. But for bronzing up the face, this one worked really well. Then the highlighting brush, I loved this brush. It worked so good. I feel like it would also be really, really good for setting your under eyes. It's like the perfect shape to go right under there. And it just applied my highlight like so intense. It looks really good. I'm really happy with that, so I love this one. And the eye brushes, I loved all of them, and that's like kind of hard for me to say because I have so many eye brushes that I like love and that I use almost every day. But the two crease ones, they blended out my eyeshadow really well. Also, I love that eyeshadow palette. It's really good at blending, and the colors are pigmented, but these brushes did a really good job. And I like this little smudger brush. It's perfect for right under your eyes or highlighting your inner corner. And I even went back over my Cupid's bow and highlighted it with this, and I think that made it look really, really good. The little packing brush, the little oval shadow brush, this one packed on my lid color so well and made it really even and just like packed it on there really good. So it's pretty intense and pigmented. So I loved all these brushes. So overall, all the brushes really worked out for me except the blush brush. I'm just not a huge fan of that. I know that's how Duo Fiber just is. It doesn't really puts on product lightly. That's why I use them for blush. But this one, like, it took so much product out of my blush and didn't even put it on my face. So I wouldn't recommend that one, but all the other ones I definitely 10 out of 10 recommend. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this review helped you out a little bit, and maybe it's going to pursue you to go buy some of these brushes and try them out for yourself. And if you do, let me know how they work. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!